Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, black mind, black in again. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So let me get straight to it, y'all. It's like this. Edward Allen Anderson recorded about pro-black and sexual politicking and opened my eyes the ukfup. I mean, a lot of these things I kind of understood, but I didn't articulate it as well as he did. He took my understanding and put it into words, which helps my understanding and also helps me to be able to explain it to others. But he did that already for me. So shout out to the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Edward Anderson. Those are compliments, by the way. Now, we need those live streams because the reason that he can speak so much is because he has a very, very intense focus and a sharp understanding. We need to hear it. We just need to hear it in spaces and in doses. So the live streams serve that point, that purpose. So I'm going to say this. And he should have, I think it's 3,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. It may have gone up to twice that much since I last heard. It was over a year ago that I heard. The point I'm making is he's earned the subscribers that he has. Because he benefits. When you sit and listen, he benefits. And I want to say this. Shango the Eternal, with his final warning to SYSBM, while he could have titled it better, he brought up some valid points. And I'm not even in favor of the whole message based on the title alone. Final warning. I mean, I get that, but I'm saying the same thing as an SYSBM man. I'm saying, look, watch out for the white women. Yes, that's true, because Europe is going through a resurgence of white nationalism. It is happening. Watch out for them. I've been saying that. I've also said watch out for the Arab woman. Watch out for the Indian woman. Because the individual may not have a problem with you, but their people still have problems with us. And Shango the Eternal did say, a lot of times them Latinas got the same issues. They come with anti-blackness baggage. That's true. Afro-Latinas, probably not so much, depending on where they come from, because they're going through a resurgence of black pride, like in Brazil. One of the reasons that the black Brazilian population is going up is because more and more people are beginning to count themselves as black. They used to have all these side peripheral terms that meant not quite black, and now they're like, no, I'm black. Fuck it, I'm black. I'm proud of it. Long live Africa. Kiss my ass, white man. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I mean that. So he's right that you'd have to be careful when you decide to broaden your options. That part is true. You do have to be careful. However, you got to be careful, more careful with African-American women. You got to be most careful with Western women, period. The African-American woman and the African-Canadian woman and a black British woman and their white counterparts are by far the most dangerous. Certainly are. So what we're left with is some Afro-Latinas that are proud of it. Some parts of the continent, some parts. Southeast tropical Asia. That's what we're left with, really. It's not a whole lot, but it's better than being stuck on Black America or Black Canada. You know, a Toronto niglet or a Baltimore B word. You know, I'm sorry, but it is true. You deal with these non-black Latinos and they got anti-blackness issues. You could deal with some of them that are black and they got anti-blackness issues, if you're not careful. And you can also find those that ain't on that stuff. And that's also very true. You got to know them. But the other thing, too, I want to keep in mind is that what Edward Anderson said pretty much it made me realize that apparently the pro-black circles have gotten even worse in the 6 years since I left. Even more niggerish and dysfunctional and stupid. And I'm done with that mess. I'm not here to become an Arab where I live. But by the same token, my pro-blackness was never about this sexual politicking. And I've been saying that we're not going to I've been saying that black men should not tolerate this. That's why I recorded what I did on August the 2nd of 2017. Go back and check that one. Some black militants may have to marry out. That's what I recorded then. There's a story behind it, but I recorded that because that's when I came to the understanding that this pro-blackness that sisters want black men to have pretty much does mean something vastly different than real pro-blackness. Pro-blackness, true pro-blackness was never used as a weapon to castrate black men. It was never meant for that. Absolutely not. This pro-blackness sometimes means that you actually leave alone the women that don't want you. And if that means not just black women, but so-called pro-black women, you leave them broads alone too. But Edward Anderson said something that really stuck out, jumped out at me. Black women don't respect black men that limit their options to African American women. That's the thing. And that right there is the reason that the communities need so much mentoring right now, that the youth need so much mentoring right now from men that are not their biological fathers or even uncles for that matter. It's so necessary for one reason, and that is that sisters didn't respect pro-black men enough to be sexually attracted to them. Now, it didn't matter that they lost respect for no good niggas. So what? They still wanted to screw them, but they had they didn't even have enough basic respect for real pro-black men to even have some of their kids. Didn't want that. Consciously or subconsciously, I don't care which one, it doesn't matter. It was as far as I'm concerned, it was a genetic war against any men that were not street niggas. Negative stereotypes. That being said, I'm pro-black male, and that's it. Pro-black male. I'm not, although I do want justice for black people, and I am still anti-white supremacist. Hell, I'm anti-white equalist at this point. I don't want them to have the same things other people have as societies, because they need to go through some punishments. They need to go through what others have gone through. I'm not even sure that would do them any good, but they certainly need to not be anywhere close to being on the top. But I also want to point this out. It's very necessary to understand. I'm not going to be, I'm not pro-black until Western black women themselves change what the hell they understand that to mean. I am pro-black man. I'm not pro-black. And I'm not going to be till sisters change. Nathaniel George said, brothers got to leave before black women will ever change. And that stuck with me too. And what I'm pretty much saying is black women are going to have to change before I'll ever be pro-black again. I'm pro-black man. Straight like that. Now, I've been that in practice for a while. But at this point, I'm saying that I am specifically not pro-black woman. I am only in favor, under my umbrella of who I am pro, I am in favor of the pick-me's and the pick-meshas. Now, if you want to know which black woman I am for, it is the pick-me's and the pick-meshas that the boom-shikas and bonquishas can't stand. That's who I'm for. They're under the umbrella. Yeah, I got your back. I mean, I know who you are. You probably can't come out and disclose that, but I got your back. You say a goddamn fucking thing, and no, I did not cuss about black men this and black men that, and you want to let sisters off the hook? No, you're not the one I'm in favor of. The Klan could come through and cut your father mucking head clean off. And while I hate the Klan, I wouldn't have a damn thing to say about them doing it to you personally. I would have something to say about them committing an act of murder, racist murder probably, but it wouldn't be because of who you are. Just like with Jonathan Price, a lot of us are upset that the cops committed an act of racial murder. They're not upset that it was someone like Jonathan Price. See, when Elijah McClain was killed, we were pissed off because of who they killed and the reasons they didn't have to kill him. When Jonathan Price was taken out, most of us were like, well, see, that's an act of murder. He didn't earn that, but we don't miss him. He's not a loss. It's just that the principle was wrong. It's murder, and it was a racist murder. And that's how I would see it if the Klan comes through and cuts off your head after you've shown that you one of them neck rolling, finger snapping, any kind of feminist. That's it. Okay, yeah, I think they should be, put away for murder, certainly executed for it, definitely. But it's not because of who you were. Ain't no outrage about it. It's just how the system works. It's how my moral understanding is. Yeah, take that hood off his head and cut his head off. But I can't understand why anyone who knows better would hold a candlelight vigil for you. It ain't about you. It's about murder. That's my understanding at this point. That's all it is. You can talk about rights for women and men, and we straight. That's fair. You can talk about the responsibilities that men and women have, and it's fair. When I got to hear this one-sided shit that I always have to hear, even from ladies with whom I grew up, I'm done. I don't give a rat's ass what the Klan does to you. I just hope they don't get away with it if it's illegal. In other words, I'm an enemy of the Ku Klux Klan. But as far as you're concerned, you won't be able to tell the difference between me and them. And I say that without apology. Change who the fuck you are before you say a damn thing about why I'm no longer pro-black. I mean, collectively, y'all change who y'all are, and you ain't gonna do it. You can't. Because none of you feminists want to be the first one to get up and say, man, fuck this feminism. Especially this anti-black misandrous feminism. You don't want to get up and say this because you know damn well you'll be ostracized for saying it. Consequently, what that means is that you may be one of those that I'm actually for, but I don't know that. Oh, well, I just want to be fair about this. But that's me trying to be fair. It's like I've always said, don't defend the guilty. Don't do that. And don't go nailing the innocent to the cross. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. Because there are a lot that don't do certain things and they still want to turn around and defend them. I'm still listening to Joe Anita on O'Shea Duke Jackson's blogcast where she's talking about missing out on single moms. I'm still listening because I want to hear if that's what she's going to do. You going to defend the guilty and point the fingers at the innocent? Because if most black men ain't having babies, then where the F are all these babies coming from? Obviously from a very small number. That means that all your talk about you don't want no polygyny and you can't share no man doesn't mean a goddamn thing when he's got the muscles and the height and he gets your pussy wet. That's what it means. Be honest about it. Stop the hypocrisy. That's the main thing y'all need to throw out the window when it comes to not just your sexual preferences and what you want, but everything else in life too. Mostly though, when it comes to men, because I'll be honest, I find sisters to be actually quite consistent about everything in life except for men and their vaginas. That's where I find most of their hypocrisy. And no, I don't find it with men. I find sisters being hypocritical about men with their tongues and their vaginas. I don't find men being hypocritical about women for the most part. I don't. If it happens, they keep it so private I'd never know. What you want me to do? Dig around in their personal lives to find this out? No. When sisters doing it, it's out in the open. You need to be pro-black. And then white guys are coming along talking about something. Oh yeah, I hit that. You hit that? Yeah. We sometimes if we just need to jump off, we go get a pro-black woman. There are more and more white guys saying stuff like this. But we get to listen to you talk about you need to be pro-black and you need to not chase after these other sisters. And then when the pro-black man tries to get with one of you because, you know, you're also pro-black. No, we brother and sister. You need to stop doing that. You need to respect me. Oh, so, okay. So what you want him to do is just be celibate, really. So that he has no option but to mentor your kids. That's really what you want. Okay, I see. The kids that you would have never had for him in the first fucking place under any circumstances because of what he's not, a nigger. Because he's pro-black. He got the wooden beads on and actually trying to walk the walk. But, you know, as soon as a Latina with a big old booty gives him an eye and he smiles back, you're like, what the hell are you doing? She could be Afro-Latina. That ain't no black woman. Man, get the fuck out of here. That's what I'm seeing going on. Pro-black men are better people than so-called pro-black women, and that's why I'm pro-black man at this point. specifically, and pro-black pick-me and pick-Misha. You know, the ones the feminists can't stand. That's who I'm pro for. I'm for them. See, one of my schoolmates in Atlanta, she knows who she is. She picked me up from the airport once, and I appreciate that. She disavowed that stuff. I'm in favor of her getting all the equal rights and justice. And as long as she's consistent with the men in her life from this point out, I want her to get what she's worked for and earned. She understands. She may hear this, she may not, but that's what I want to see happen. Because she disavowed that feminism stuff. And she said, look, you know, things got to be equal between the genders. That's fair. She's not saying, okay, well, you know, I'm going to bend over the couch, but you don't have to be about nothing in your whole life. No, none of that. And I'm going to tell you this. There was a time when she said to me, I was going to take advantage of you, meaning she was going to try to get them draws. And now I can't participate in that. It's no fault of hers, nothing personal. It's just those are the rules. But the fact that she was actually honest about her libido and didn't come with the materialism, I can respect. Some of you would say, well, that's low down harlotry. You know what? I respect that more than I will coming with the materialism any day of the week for one reason. You don't talk about being strong and independent and then turn around and come with the material. Which one is it? You earning your own money and earning your own way or not? Because see, when a lot of women deny their libido in the name of materialism, they still have the libido unmet. And what do they wind up doing? They wind up cheating. One man takes care of them, and then the other man, well, it's exactly, they wind up doing exactly what Alan Roger Curry said they do because they were doing it with him. They wind up marrying one guy to take care of them and then going sneaking off with someone like him to get their fix. That's what winds up happening. And I think it's insane, but that's exactly what winds up being the case. So at least being honest about their libido from jump, I'm like, look, I actually hope you find a husband that can take care of all of that. But anyway, this is now why I am no longer and will never again be pro-black woman outside of the pick-me's and pick-mishas. Unless, of course, the rest of them, the majority of them collectively become pick-me's and pick-mishas and they become the norms. Until that day, I don't want to hear shit about what I owe black women. My willingness to protect a particular black woman in a particular situation is not something I'm going to force and hold as a standard for other men to meet until we have a clear picture of what is owed to us in exchange for this. End of story. And that's what I saw on Facebook. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I saw where one man was talking about the Megan Thee Stallion's performance on SNL, I think it was. Now, he didn't mention it. Apparently, she said something about protecting black women and men. So if she said that, she's fair, if she did. I don't see it. They don't broadcast that here in the Gulf. But he posted that. There was a man that commented underneath and said, well, there's no man or woman that's always protected. Nobody's protected 100% of the time. But another question is, why do we take negative rappers with these lyrics and make them famous and ignore the ones that have something positive to say? This is the major problem. That right there is the root of this. And also, since we're talking about protection, what is owed to the protector in exchange for their protection? Now, this man said this, which is reasonable, and there was a sister in there. Now, there were a lot of sisters that actually responded by saying, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's okay, yeah. You get my back, I get yours. Cool. There were sisters saying that, but there was still one that had to jump in and say, she said, men are owed nothing. You owe it to us to protect us or you're a punk. That's exactly what the F this B word said. Now, there were sisters that were in agreement with what the man said, but they were not checking this broad. And until the day that that's the norm, until the day that her voice is a minority and it's also ostracized, no, I'm only pro-black pick-mishas as far as the sisters are concerned. I hope that one day this recording will no longer be necessary, and in the meantime, I hope it helps. Black heart, black mind, blackout, Assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power just 'cause they don't like it.